Okay, this is an interesting story coming out of Media. See, I always want to pronounce it Media, but it's Media. Facebook bans Alex Jones, Louis Farrakhan, and other extremists after labeling them dangerous by Joe DiPaolo. Facebook has banned a series of well-known political provocateurs after labeling them as dangerous. According to CNN, the social networking giant has given the heave-ho to InfoWars along with founder Alex Jones. Other notables banned include Louis Farrakhan, Milo Laura Loomer, and Paul Joseph Watson. I thought Alex Jones was already banned though. I thought like they completely tried to kick him off the entire internet. Him and InfoWars. I thought this took place already. But the Louis Farrakhan, Laura Loomer, and Paul Joseph Watson, that's interesting. That's new. PJW is new in particular. I didn't see when it comes to all of these people, Alex Jones, Milo Yiannopoulos, Paul Joseph Watson. It's crazy. I didn't know anything about them until a couple of years back when everybody started calling them racist and dangerous and all these other things. And also, I think racism's hilarious. So I went to see, I went to check out their stuff. And I'm like, it's not that bad. I mean, if you go on sit there and they're going to speak up for white people. And I think Miss Loomer's Jewish. They're going to speak for their people. And I don't knock that. I mean, that's the same thing that Louis Farrakhan does as well. He speaks for his people. And so it seems to me as if, they're just coming down hard on big figures that have wrongthink more than, anything they've particularly said. Cause I've checked out a lot of Paul Joseph Watson in particular, and I find him to be, he can be rather funny at times. And, he has his opinion. He has his perspective. I don't think he's right about everything. I don't think anyone's right about anything. But it is, I feel as if, with us having free speech, with it being part of our Constitution, at least here in the States, I know Paul Joseph is from the UK or something like that. But with us having freedom of speech, just let them say whatever they're gonna say. I mean, I'm from the hood, right? So I don't worry about nothing nobody say. I'm more concerned about what you gonna do, bruh. That's it. Like we about to bang, we about to fight. I mean, you about to approach me with some violence. Then that's a whole nother level. But as far as what people say, I mean, as long as you are not inciting violence, as long as you are not screaming fire in a crowded movie theater, by all means, because honestly, a big part of being an adult is, just not letting everything that anyone says get to you. And for some strange reason, we have such a childish media that's so prickly and scared. Like, I mean, here's the deal. In the arena of ideas, beat the ideas with better ideas. It's why President Trump is going to get reelected, because the Democratic Party hasn't been presenting any good ideas. They've been presenting very biased and very pointed ideas. Like, you said, like, I was watching AIU, Devin Tracy over on his channel, and I'm kind of shocked he's not on this list. I was watching him, and he was covering the Shiro. I think that's the name of it. It's like some women's conference, some black women's conference. And it's just like, well, you do realize that you're like, okay, so probably about like 6-7% of the population. So like, like anything that's done on a national level should be done for every single person that calls them, that's an American citizen, plain and simple. Like, at that national level, you should be trying to cover all Americans. I believe that when you start to get more into the state and local and municipal governments, that's where you break off. That's where, like, yeah, you can, like, if your community, like let's take Chinatown for instance. I assume that Chinatown has a Chinese assemblyman, and he represents them in their government, but the deal is that in Chinatown, it's all Chinese people. So he's going to look out for their best interest, you know, like they have like an alderman or a council rep or something like that at the local level, but he goes out and he deals with the mayors, and the mayor has to look out for the best interest of the entirety of the town. So when it comes to government and these government positions, you know, that's where like the closer to home you get, the more I feel like you can be more specifically interested, more tailor interested towards, like, you know, specific groups such as, you know, Caucasians, Europeans, Asians, Black folk, ADOS descendants, and then you have, like, you know, immigrants. If this is a huge immigrant population, then cool. But as far as you know, the national stuff, yeah, that should totally be your goal should be to help everybody. So anyways, Facebook gave a statement to CNN in which they explained their rationale for applying the dangerous designation to those individuals and banning them from the platform. We've always banned individuals or organizations that promote or engage in violence and hate, regardless of ideology. Yeah. A Facebook spokesperson told CNN, the process for evaluating potential violators is extensive, and it is what led us to our decision to remove these accounts today. The ban includes Instagram, which is also owned by Facebook. Twitter has previously banned a number of these individuals, including Loomer. Now Facebook has followed suit. Watch CNN's Oliver Darcy's discuss the story above. Oliver Darcy, why is that name so familiar? The name Oliver Darcy. Okay, yeah. Oliver Darcy is the person that initiated the Alex Jones ban, if memory serves me correctly. So it's really weird how the media works. It really is its own little class. The same way that if you know my work on my other channel, I talk about the elected class a lot. I believe that there is a media class that, you know, lives in its own little world, in its own little bubble, couldn't care less about you or your life or your experiences or anything else like that. Just what narrative can we push, because they feel they see themselves as the storytellers of history, when in all reality, history is written by the victors. But as we see now, there's so much history that continues to come out, and I think we focus so much on that to an extent that we tend to just ignore the future, and that can't be the case. But getting back to this in particular, Facebook, they're just following suit. I mean, all the giant tech companies, this is what they're all about. I mean, the most powerful search engine in the world is Google, and what their CEO, CFO, their executive class wants the program to be, wants the narrative to be, is what the program and narrative is gonna be, at least for them. So I'll always encourage you guys to continue to seek out truths. When it comes to, because let's make sure that we get the entire what's name proper. Okay, so Alex Jones, he's already been banned off of everywhere. Alex Jones is bananas, but he's funny as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I mean, when it comes to Paul Joseph Watson, Milo Yiannopoulos, I actually find to be rather funny at times. I mean, but he's the one that I would specifically, him and Laura Loomer, because I remember she did a couple of stunts where she went to Nancy Pelosi's estate or something like that with some immigrants. I think that's hilarious. Paul Joseph Watson, he's out there in the UK. But the deal is just that, like, I mean, most of these people, with the exception of Louis Farrakhan, like, you know, they are trying to bring attention to what they feel are major concerns and major issues of theirs. I mean, pause. When I say except Louis Farrakhan, he doesn't make a lot of jokes. He takes it very, very seriously. I mean, Brother Farrakhan, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of anyone that puts another people down. It's one thing to put your people up. It's another thing to put another people down in the meantime, in between time. And he does that a lot, and I'm not a fan of that. So when it comes to all of these individuals, all their publications, I believe, freedom of speech. If you're going to be an American company, I believe you should be held to constitutional standards. Like, that's one of the things that bugs me out the most when it comes to a lot of these rights that people sit there and talk about. Oh, we got human rights. You got healthcare is a right. All of these things are right. Look, bruh, we got constitutional rights. That's it. You got a social security number. You got constitutional rights. Bang. Good on you, bruh. You are my brother and sister in this thing we call America. And if these tech companies are going to operate here in America, and they're going to take advantage of American laws and the like, particularly our publishing laws, then you should definitely pay attention to that Constitution. And the Constitution says, hey, unless they break rules such as inciting violence, you should let them talk. Beat bad ideas with better ideas. I think that's that should be the goal. But a lot of people want to take the easy route. A lot of people want to take the easy route, and well, we'll just ban them off of here. We'll try to shut down their speech and the deal. And this is called the Streisand effect, because what you do is you give them a larger microphone. I would have never looked into Milo Yiannopoulos, Alex Jones, or Laura Loomer if it wasn't for people screaming that out at me. And I found Paul Joseph Watson on YouTube, and I thought he was pretty funny. So, I enjoy his content there. Louis Farrakhan, I've known since forever, because I'm from urban America. I'm from a portion of the country where, it's kind of the wild, wild west in many ways. Democratically run for well over 50 years. So, I think you kind of get an idea of the chaos in which this phoenix rises from. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for putting up with me. Please, all the internet stuff, like, sub, share, speak. If you disagree and feel as if they should be banned or this is a good thing, my comments are there. I'd love to hear from you. Until the next video. Jesus. Okay, so, and there we